Alrighty. Just so everyone at home knows that this is empty. Check it beforehand, obviously, but just so everybody out there knows I'm being safe as well. So, Mossberg 590 Shockwave. When it comes to shotguns, I don't think that they're very more proven designs than the 590. Remington 870s used to be a very, very good contender, and I think their quality control has gone up quite a bit since their reputation took a bit of a dive here 5-10 years ago-ish. Mossberg 590 has always been good start to finish, as far as I know. I have never had one to let me down, and you can say that about most of Mossberg's lineup. Their 930s, the 935s, the 940 JM Pros. I mean, if Jerry Michalek, wants to pick Mossberg as his manufacturer for his signature, competition shotgun, who I'd argue with him. But no, this is a very different beast than Jerry Michalek is used to. Shockwave is more of a hip fire type shotgun. Now, sure, you can aim this, set that front bead on whatever you want, but this is a close range weapon. This is a very, very home defense type of weapon. I think everybody needs one shotgun, and in all honesty, I would probably recommend a full-size 590 over this if you had to be one and done. Granted, this is my one and done, just because I like the size of it, the compact nature. You get 4+1. I think they advertise 5+1 on their website, but I use Black Aces Tactical 2 3/4 9-pellet double-aught buck and Winchester Defender 1/4-ounce slug 3 double-aught buck is my two preferred shot shells in this thing, and I never been let down with either of them. It is hard to mess up a pump action shotgun. This is mostly going to be me preaching to the choir, but this thing has been 110% reliable. It has always gone where I wanted it to. If there was any error in where my buckshot landed at the range, it was something to do with me, not the shotgun. The only complaint I really do have about this, and this can be said about a lot of just stock, run-of-the-mill shotguns, is the loading tube. The entrance, or the part where your shells actually go in, for a lot of them, I actually Dremel that out just a tad. I used to actually take it to people to do that, but I've gotten a little more confident in my ability to work on guns lately. I'll just Dremel out that loading port just a tad bit more. On my Shockwave, it may be different for others, but for mine personally, it was just a little too tight. I have a little bit of trouble getting those shot shells in there, especially when it is close to full capacity. Really, really hard to get that rim of the shell in there. But other than that, everything has been perfect on this gun. Now, your Mossbergs are going to have this grip tang safety, as opposed to the Remington push style safety around your trigger guard. I like these a little bit better. It's just more intuitive for me. It's part of my natural grip. If I'm grabbing this out of the back seat of my truck and I need to swap it over to fire real quick, it's a little bit easier for me to do that with this tang safety. I don't really even think about it. You go to aim this, and it is just one quick little fluid motion with your thumb. And I mean, you could argue the same for the Remingtons, so that you could just use your index finger to move it one way or the other. I'm just more of a fan of the Mossberg design. Always have been. Um, God almighty, you can go and look up, different forums arguing the best pump action shotgun to this day, and it's still going to be Mossberg versus Remington, Model 590 versus the 870. Damn blood sport in some of those comment sections. But for me, 590, definitely where it's at. This has been just an overall great value for what I wanted. I wanted a good home defense shotgun slash something I can throw into the back seat of my truck and leave it there for weeks on end. I actually got very, very fortunate on this one. I scooped this up off a gun broker auction where they did not have a reserve on it. I want to say about a year and a half ago. I believe MSRP on these is about $489, $499. And that may not even be with the Cerakote. With the Cerakote job on there, like this tan one, FDE one, may even be closer to $599 now. But I was able to scoop it up out of that auction for $269 brand new, which was just absurd. I woke through in a bid the night before I figured out I won this, and when I woke up the next day, I was just shocked that nobody else had tried to outbid me. Week later, got sent to my FFL. I went to go pick it up, and lo and behold, there it was. Simple as that. 144.73 later, and I have myself a Mossberg 590 Shockwave with FD Cerakote for 270, 280 bones, which ain't bad at all. Take that deal any day. But I've loved this little thing. It is not something that I shoot for pleasure. Unless you're running birdshot through it, this thing is going to absolutely rock your world. This is one of those things you practice with every now and then with some birdshot, maybe some low recoil buckshot. I do actually suggest and recommend that you practice a couple of times. Maybe each time you go to the range, run a full tube of your full power self-defense loads through this, because it will take you by surprise if you try to just run this with those full power loads. If you ever did need to use it in an emergency situation, it will take you by surprise. It'll rock your world a bit. This is the 12 gauge version. I don't know if I've covered that yet or not. Let's see. Yeah. Get up close for you. This is chambered for 2 3/4 and 3-inch shells. I will say I'm only able to get 4 of the 2 3/4-inch shells in here. So 4 in the tube, plus 1 in the chamber. I have not tried to ghost load this, where I'll put 1 in the loading gate after I have a full tube. That could work. I'm not sure. I've never tried it. I've just always left it with the standard 4+1. If I need more than that in any situation, I'm probably just going to go to my sidearm anyway, if I didn't already start out with that. I'm having a pretty bad day if it gets anything past that. But no. This Mossberg 590 has been great. I've loved it. It's a very simple design, simple shotgun. I have not changed anything on it. It is drilled and tapped. For those of you who want to add a 1913 pick rail up top, or any of your mounts for red dot, prism. For those of you who are crazy enough to throw a scope on here, I'm sure you could do that. And get away with it perfectly. I could see it now. You know, good old 5 to 25 by 50 on top of here with some slugs. So I'm forced to be reckoned with. Little joke for some of my coworkers who have talked about that same build before. But no, this thing has been awesome. It's hard to mess up a pump action shotgun. I've probably only got about 120, 130 rounds through this. Like I said, it is not one of those guns that you shoot for pleasure. But I absolutely love this. On the bottom there, you'll see your logo from Mossberg 590, New Haven, Connecticut, I believe. Mossberg 590. Yeah, something like that. But this has been a great little shotgun, and I wholeheartedly recommend it. If you get the newer 590S models, you can actually load these up with some of the Aguila mini shells, which arguably would be probably the best compact little 12 gauge package to carry on the road with you, keep next to the bedside table for a self-defense shotgun, and reasonably priced all around. These are very hard to beat for the category that they're in. For me, this took the place of a Mossberg 930, which, a little bit of a tangent here, I am not actually a fan of. The 930 kind of started to let me down a bit. I know I'm not to expect crazy results out of, most semi-auto shotguns. The 1301s, the Benelli M4s, M3s, M2s, Super 90s. Those are going to be amazing. Even the new Beretta A300 Ultimas. There's a lot of semi-auto shotguns that are out on the market that are amazing, great for what they are, even self-cleaning in some situations. I did not have a good experience with my 930, which led me to buy a pump action and stick to pump actions only. Now, I'm sure I'll break away from that eventually, but I know that every time I rack this shotgun, it is going to reliably load that next round and be good to go. It's peace of mind, and you can't put a price on that. So, my 930 just started having some loading and feeding issues with the Black Aces tactical double-aught buck loads. I mean, those are some pretty stout shotgun shells. So when it's having issues after being freshly cleaned, I'm talking even disassembled it down to the gas tube, the gas rings, fully cleaned it and put it back together, and still having issues, that's not something I want to trust my life to, and doesn't exactly give me peace of mind to hang on to. So I ended up going with a shorter, more compact, Mossberg 590 Shockwave, and this has been my preferred 12 gauge ever since. I'll probably buy a full-size 590 at some point, but for now, this has done everything I need it to and more. But I think that's about all I can say on this particular shotgun. There's not much done to it at all. I haven't changed anything about this. It's just been perfect as is. Nothing more, nothing less. Exactly what you need. So, that is my review of the Mossberg 590 Shockwave. And, yeah, if you've watched up to this point, I appreciate it. Hit all the YouTube buttons, like, subscribe, whatever. I just hope you enjoy it. If any of you are on the fence about picking one of these up, I think you should definitely go for it. It is a very reasonably priced 12 gauge that will serve you well. And that's hard to beat. But thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.